Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to section 11.2, Rational Functions, Part 2. Getting things started right away, we are going to be asked to identify the asymptotes of each function, then graph the function. Remember from yesterday where asymptotes are horizontal and vertically that the graph does not pass. So first things first, let's find the vertical asymptote. Right here, the vertical asymptote is always on the bottom of the fraction, is in the denominator. The vertical asymptote here we just set to 0, so x equals 0. So let's go ahead and draw that vertical asymptote. We draw that at x equals 0. Well, where on the graph does x equal 0? Right through the origin. Now we're asked to find the horizontal asymptote. That is attached through through addition or subtraction at the end of the fraction. So here now, for your horizontal asymptote, y equals 0. We set that equal to 0. Where is y equals 0? With a dotted blue line, I'm going to draw it right there. There is y is 0 because it does not go up or down. Now when we are asked to graph these, how do we do it? We take our vertical asymptote and we go from there. So with x, starting at x of 0, we take our vertical asymptote, your x, whatever your x equals. We go 2 down and 2 up. So I'm going to start with -2, -1, 1, and 2. So I went from this number right here, x equals 0. I went 2 down and I went 2 up, and I put those numbers in my table. So now if I plug in, I have a -2 and I plug in -2, that's going to give me -2 divided by -2 is 1. And then if I go -2 divided by -1, that's going to give me a +2. If I go -2 divided by 1, that's going to give me -2. And then -2 divided by 2, that's going to give me a -1. So we put these guys in our table. Now let's go ahead and graph this. X is -2. From your origin, we go over -2 for your x, up 1 for your y. Again, from your origin, -1, up 2. Put your points. Then we have 1, -2. We're always going from the origin. Whenever you plot coordinate points, we always go from the origin and to -1. Now we have 2 points on each side of the graph. Remember, these red and blue dotted lines are asymptotes. What we cannot do, we cannot cross the graph over them. So here's my 2 dots, and remember with rational functions, with inverse variation, they are curved lines. So I'm going to start it up here and work down towards my 2 dots that I have, and then bend my line closer and closer to that asymptote. Notice how I did not touch the asymptote. I start by my asymptote and I do not cross it. I do go through the 2 dots, but I do not cross my asymptote on both sides. I get 2 nice curved lines that represent y equals -2 over x. Let's try the same thing here again. First things first, let's find our vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote comes from what's on the bottom. Here we go, x minus 3 equals 0. Solving for x, we add the 3 over, so x equals 3. So we have a vertical asymptote at 3. So I go over 3 on the x, 1, 2, 3, and I draw my vertical asymptote represented by my red dotted line. Now my horizontal asymptote is whatever is added or subtracted. Do we have anything added or subtracted there? No, we do not, so y equals 0. So where do we draw that line? Well, we draw it right at where y is 0. What are our numbers now that we put in the table? Here, our vertical asymptote was at 3, so I'm going to go 2 below and 2 above this 3. That's the numbers I'm putting in the table. 2 above and 2 below this x equals 3, your vertical asymptote. So we go 2 below, which is 2 and 1, and then on the other side of the table, it's 4 and 5. If you use your calculator, ladies and gentlemen, be very careful how you punch this in, because we go 1 over 1 minus 3, which is the same as 1 over a -2. So we have a -1 half. Here we have 1 over 2 minus 3, which is 1 over negative 1, so it's negative 1. Then we have 1 over 4 minus 3, which is 1 over 1. Gives me 1 again. With 5, we get 1 over 5 minus 3, which is 1 over 2, so it's 1/2. Please be very careful if you use your calculator. You will have to put parentheses around what's in the bottom of the fraction. Let's go ahead and graph these coordinate points. We have x of 1 and negative 1/2. From your origin, ladies and gentlemen, from your origin, it's 1 down 1/2 right there. From your origin, 2, negative 1 goes right there. From your origin, 4 is all the way over here, up 1 now, and then from your origin, 5, 1/2. We have our 2 coordinate points and our asymptotes. Let's start by your asymptote. Cruise on down towards your points, connect the points, and do not cross the asymptotes. Rational functions do not cross the asymptote. So start here by the horizontal or vertical, whatever one you start by, just do not cross it. Go through the 2 points. And ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you have a curved line that represents the rational function. So these 2 curved lines represent y equals 1 over x minus 3. Please notice that these curved lines are kitty corner from each other. Here it is and here it is. Let's see where this next graph will be. So for 3, the first thing that we have to do is to find our vertical asymptote. Remember, it's from the bottom of the fraction, so it's x plus 2. We set that equal to 0. Subtract it over, so x equals a negative 2. So I have a vertical asymptote on x equals negative 2, a straight line that goes through x equals 2. Next, I have a horizontal asymptote at what? What is added or subtracted to the fraction? We set that equal to y. So y now equals 3 because 3 is added or subtracted to the fraction. So let's go ahead and draw the the horizontal asymptote at 3. So we go up 3 and draw a vertical or a horizontal line. Now for our table, what value do we pick? Ladies and gentlemen, we pick the vertical asymptote, x equals. X equals is the vertical asymptote that we pick for our table. We go what from this number? We go below this number 2 times, so we go below, which is negative 3 and negative 4. And we also go above 2, so we go negative 1 and we go 0. Ladies and gentlemen, we are plugging these numbers in for x. So it is 2 over a negative 4 plus 2 and then plus 3. Be very careful, ladies and gentlemen, when you plug this into your calculator, so that plus 3 is outside the fraction. Here, this jargon right here turns into a negative 1, so it's negative 1 plus 3 to give us 2. Then again, we keep going with the negative 3, so it's 2 over a negative 3 plus 2, and then outside is plus 3. This right here turns into a negative 2 plus 3, which is 1. Now we put negative 1 in, so it's 2 over a negative 1 plus 2 plus 3. This right here will give me a positive 2 plus 3, which is 5. And then if I plug 0 in, I'll get 4. So again, let's go ahead and plot these points. We go over negative 4, up 1, 2. We go over negative 3, up 1. We go over now negative 1. We're always going from our origin, negative 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then from our origin, it stays at 0, up 4, plotting our points. Now, how do we draw our curved line? Starting by an asymptote. We start by it, we never cross it, go through our 2 points, and we're never going to cross this horizontal asymptote. It gets closer and closer to it, but will not cross that horizontal asymptote or vertical asymptote. It will not cross. Our graph will not cross our vertical and horizontal asymptote. I cannot stress that enough. Again, here are 2 points that we drew. Start by your vertical asymptote or your horizontal asymptote. Draw a curved line through those 2 points, and then end up by your asymptote, but not going through your asymptote. And there is the graph of y equals 2 over x plus 2 plus 3. And that does it for section 11.2, Rational Functions, Part 2. Good day.